recording in 3, 2. I don't know. It might be on. I'm not sure.
It's on.
It's on? All right.
It's on.
Oh, okay. All right. Welcome to the Shop Class Podcast. This is Mr. G. And tonight's guest is David Almanzan. I'm horrible. I'm sorry. I'm going to get it right. Hold on. It's Almanzan. Sorry.
There you go. Close enough.
All right. I'm so sorry. He's joining us from Houston, Texas area, auto shop teacher, and right next to UTI. It's going to be awesome. All right. We also got Duke in the house, East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, and we got Nick. Nick, where in New York again?
Accord, New York.
Accord, New York. All right. Okay, so sorry I butchered your name there. Can you say it for us? Tell us your name.
David Almanzan.
All right. So the reason I found David is because I was looking for, I was looking at the go-karts. I saw a go-kart in here, and I just saw, in general, just some pretty cool, like auto shop type stuff going on. And I was like, oh, man, let me contact this guy. So I was talking to him about go-karts, and then I was like, hey, do you want to come on the show and tell us about your program? So where's your go-karts? Is that somewhere in the Instagram? I'm trying to find it.
It's probably closer towards the top. See, it's something we've recently started playing around with. So
here we go. So you want to tell us about this picture? Look at this.
Oh, so that picture is legendary. So first of all, that was the last day of school for our students. So we were doing finals. We were testing out the last couple of modifications on this go-kart. And then our principal shows up during lunch when we were having pizza, and he shows up with a guest, and I just noticed somebody was behind him, and it turns out to be the Dekaney family, the family that the school is named after.
Oh, no kidding.
So they look familiar because I've seen them before and I've met them before, but that was exactly 2 years before this day. And they show up, and we're showing them around because it's a brand new facility. They had never seen the shop. They hadn't seen what we do. And the grandson from the Dekaneys, he's out there eager looking at the go-kart, and he goes, does it run? And we go, yeah, I think it runs. And they go, well, is there a helmet I can use? I said, yeah, sure. So the guy jumps on. He's a college kid. He jumps on the go-kart. No, this is not him.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I didn't get him on the go-kart because he jumps on and he just mashes on the gas and just goes. Now, this is not one of the biggest or the fastest or best looking go-karts out there at all. We had just gotten it running. It's been sitting for a while. It's actually one of the entry-level professional type of go-karts. So I've only gotten it to about 50 miles per hour tops. And that's with me playing around with it and knowing.
It's pretty fast. Come on.
Yeah. Well, when you're that low to the ground, 50 miles per hour feels like 100.
Yeah, this one actually goes at about maybe, I want to say 60. It will do 60. But if I hit 50, I let off the gas right away. Well, this kid jumps on. And I mean, he takes off, and we're all scared. We go, man, how far is the nearest ER from us? And we were just thinking, because these things, they have no suspension. There's no roll cage. It's just wheels and steering, and you're about an inch off the ground. So
wow.
He drives it like a pro. I wouldn't be surprised if he's driven one of these before. And he comes back, and we're all amazed. We're like, whoa, okay, you're in one piece. So is the go-kart. And everybody enjoyed it. We spent about an hour out there with with our principal and our guests. So our kids were excited to show, see what we're doing.
Nice. Let me welcome in Kirk. He's here. Kirk, you're in Pennsylvania as well, right?
Yeah.
What town are you in again?
What's that?
What town are you in?
Bloomsburg.
Bloomsburg. All right. So David, the guest tonight, was just explaining about this go-kart. Yeah. This go-kart. He's from Houston, Texas area, and he's got an auto shop.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, David, you were telling us about the people. This was the grandson of who they named the school after. But who are these people? Because this is all East Coasters, so we don't know who is this person. You said Dekaney?
Well, he was Andy Dekaney was a major contributor to education, and yeah, when our school is fairly new, the main building was built in 07.
Did you say Andrew?
Andy.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and so his family comes around, and the family they're local to the area as well, so they're always involved. But they hadn't seen the auto shop, so they spent quite some time there with us, and they're huge supporters of blue collar and anything that has to deal with contributing to our students and our future. And I mean that also feels good that they see their all their plans and their visions come to fruition with us.
That's so cool. You know what's interesting is the situation is with so wait, did Dekaney they helped establish that school, but they're not known for something outside of that, right? Or they are?
Maybe now the sons and the newer generations, maybe they are, but I wouldn't be able to tell you if there's more to it.
Yeah. No, but you know what's cool? What you said to me before we hit the recording was that they celebrate the auto shop the same way they celebrate the sports.
Nice.
Right. So our mostly in the towns, on the rural towns, where you're either going to play football or you're going to learn how to weld or go into the automotive field, or either some type of blue collar job, or one of your sports is going to get you somewhere. So you see, and we're not even close to that, but we're very well supported in the area. But you see the smaller towns further out of the big cities, where I mean, auto tech and shop class is huge, and it's just like it's part of your normal curriculum, part of your core classes, and everybody is involved, and whether it's doing something in the wood shop or metal shop or automotive, anything. So there's huge support out there, depending on where you're located.
That's great, man. That's really good. So how many different departments you guys have there? Is it auto shop, and then do you have a metal shop and a CAD and robotics and stuff like that?
Well, there's the engineering side of it, and then there's the automotive shop. Our auto tech program, it's new to the school. It's not new to the district, but it's new to the school. They split it up from another campus. But when they brought it over to our school, it was nothing. Basically, just a class, and here you go, and start off with a clean slate. And this was exactly 4 years ago. I was new to the school, and the kids were like, "Okay, this is shop class. What are we supposed to do?" So I had been teaching before this, but not at the high school level. I was teaching at the college level. So I go, "Okay, well, let's see what we can do and learn together."
That's awesome. How long have you been teaching high school?
4 years exactly.
Wow. And how long did you teach college?
I was teaching 2 years before that, I believe, 2.5 years or so.
And which one do you like better?
And I used to think that it was going to be different. Honestly, it really isn't that much different, except in the college. Instead,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and I was thinking, hey, college students, they're gonna be more just different. It's really the same thing. At the end of the day, I don't call parents at the college, and the students will call me at the college and go, hey, were we supposed to be in class today? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, we had class.
That's funny. Hey, we got, I just want to say hi to Timmy. Timmy's on the road. He looks like he's driving a truck. It's one of these dash cams. Hey, Timmy, don't let anybody brake check you, all right?
Yeah. What's up? Look like I'm coming into some traffic.
Look at him. Look at him cruising down the road. What are you, picking up a load? You going to take it across country or something?
Yeah, I got a big haul behind me. Big haul.
Yeah. And we got, Damien is from Australia, and it's the next day, and it's cold out there. So,
yeah, well, I'm not staying on long. I just wanted to pop in, and I just wanted to pop in and see what was going on. So
yeah. Well, tonight we got David from Houston, Texas area, and he's got an automotive program, and I'm gonna kind of pick his brain a little about go-karts.
Okay, and I made a contact today. This is kind of news. This is news for the podcast.
Okay.
Literally breaking news in the past 2 hours. I left this morning, drove down to Roanoke, Virginia to go to a place called Black Dog Salvage. And the gentleman there does architectural salvage, and they take building pieces apart, and what they end up doing is like reselling them. So I was talking to him, and they had a show called Salvage Dogs on I think it was Discovery Plus.
Yeah.
So I started talking to the one guy, Mike, who was on the show, gave me a tour of his shop, and then ended up showing me where he does all of his metal working, metal fabrication, wood fabrication, and everything. And I told him that I was a part of the podcast, and he's like more than happy to come on.
Oh, that's great.
So I got his personal information, and I'm gonna touch base with him when I get back from my trip. So
that sounds great.
This is a big lead for the podcast. I can tell you that.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Thanks for doing that. Yeah, I always want to hear about any shop out there. You know, what's nice about the podcast is that we got kind of like a diverse group. We had the NASA engineer, we got auto shop teachers, wood shop teachers. You know, it's wild. Whatever serves the shop teacher community.
And he, you know, if you ever watched the episode, I don't know who has Discovery Plus or not, but I stumbled upon their show kind of by accident, and I started watching a couple of the seasons, and they take just these old things and they convert them, they recreate them, and they like reimagine what they are, and it was pretty neat. So I think having him on is kind of a good like tie into, you know, material handling and you know, repurposing and recreating and design.
Awesome. Let's do it.
So I'll set up stuff with him, and then we'll get some information, and I'll do it when we come back when I come back from my trip.
No problem. Let's do it. No problem. Yeah, enjoy. Where are you headed?
I'm actually heading right now. I'm in North Carolina, and I'm heading to Daytona Speedway.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
No kidding.
So I'm trying to do a tour of Daytona Speedway tomorrow, and then I'll see if there's any other little like touristy things I can do. And then I got to head over to Tampa, going to see my sisters, and then I'm going to a wedding. So
nice.
That's where I'm at.
That's great. I'm trying to find you on the map. Is he over here somewhere?
I'm on. Yeah. Stalker Ron. Just so you know, I'm on Route 77 South, outside of Statesville, North Carolina.
All right. Well, I don't know where that is, but.
Well, why don't you just Google Statesville, North Carolina there?
All right, we'll let you go through there. It's all right. You'll take some pictures for us.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I wanted to spread the good word and
yeah, that's awesome.
let you know
man.
that I got a lead. So we'll talk to him soon.
All right, sounds good, dude. Yeah.
You guys have fun tonight.
All right. Thanks, Timmy.
Later, guys.
Okay. So so pretty cool. You know, it's nice shop teacher community. Yeah, he's got us hooked up with those guys down in North Carolina. That's pretty cool. Custom designs, Black Dog Salvage. All right, so hopefully we'll see him. Anyway, so getting back to go-karts. All right, let's get serious here. This is enough playing around. All right. Okay. So, you know, did you with the go-kart situation? Did you pick like an engine size, and did you optimize it or something, or how do you compete in these things?
Well, it all started with our small engines class. So
oh yeah, okay, yeah.
We have a new automotive instructor that came on board with us this past school year. So not only was he fresh to teaching, he was fresh to the school. He started teaching during COVID times, and you know, he comes from the automotive industry, being out there as a shop owner for 32 years, and he was not only was he was lost squared. I mean, and so I tried to guide him along as much as I could. And
he started teaching during COVID.
Yep. As a shop teacher, so you're not a core class teacher where you go, okay, this is all I have to follow, and then I'll just teach you over Google Meets, and then you turn in your work. So he that was huge for him to take on that role. But you know, I try to guide him as much as I could, and we started looking into the go-kart stuff because small engines. I started doing some research and, you know, showing him. Small engines class, we work with Briggs & Stratton engines, and
yeah, I love them. That's what I use as well.
Yeah, so then Google crossed me with all kinds of go-kart stuff, and what's called the LO206 class, which is entry level to kart racing. This is your foot in the door type of class, I guess.
What did you say that class was?
That's the LO206.
Is that a code for your school or for the racing?
No, for racing.
LO206. Oh, 206 is the engine size, right?
No. Actually, it may be. I'm not sure.
Let me take a look.
I don't race yet, but
okay.
I just know how to hit the right my right foot down to the floor. Yeah, that LO206 engine. So basically, what it is, it's your most basic foot in the door to racing, and it's a sealed engine for when it comes to racing with these in this class. So basically, you know, there's not too much maintenance to it. It's a 4-stroke engine,
right?
Very simple. But of course, there's all kinds of regulations you must follow. So I went out there, and we out of my own money, I went and found a go-kart, and I said, all right, let's play around with it and see what we can do, you know?
Yeah.
So our kids, I brought it up to my partner, and I said, hey man, you know, what do you think of this? And he was right on. He jumped on board for it. He said, I'm sure the kids will love it, you know, because they know the Briggs & Stratton engine, and it's something they're familiar with. So it's not something out of their reach, but it's something new and different, you know?
Yeah, that's so cool. So how do you guys handle your Briggs & Stratton or your small engine class? You know, just give you an insight. Like what I do is I take 2 kids on an engine. We run the engine. and we tear it apart like down to nothing. Put it all back together and run it again. Carburetor is sort of a separate, advanced next step. We just run it on like starter fluid just to get it kick over and keep it going.
Right.
And that's kind of what we do. It takes a while because I only see them for 40 minutes a day during non-COVID time, pre-COVID. How do you guys handle that? Your small engine class. What do you do?
So as you may know, you tell a kid it's small engine and they go, well, what's that? And you show them the small engine, they go, well, that's a lawnmower. I don't want to learn how to run a lawnmower. So when I first started, I started looking, during my own research, and what I enjoy about our curriculum is that, hey, we kind of show our experience with it, and I go, well, small engines, where does a dirt bike fall into place? Where does some type of farm equipment fall into place? A pressure washer, and we would have staff that would go, hey, I've got a 4-wheeler that doesn't run, and I go, well, that's small engines, and right away kids go, oh man, a Raptor or a Banshee or something. I go, yeah, well, if you know how to get this thing running, and your basics on an engine, you can get a jet ski going, you can get a boat going,
totally.
2-stroke, 4-stroke, and it all kind of intertwines. So that was the way to get them in the door. And then what I noticed that was huge with us is, at first, we're supposed to keep them separate: entry-level kids and the advanced students and our seniors and our freshmen. And one day we tested this out. I said, let's bring them together and see what happens. It could have gone either way. I said, this is going to be either we're all going to learn from it, it's going to be disaster, what's going to happen? And sure enough, these kids, our advanced students were basically explaining to freshmen what we're doing and what's going on and what's happening there. And so it helped out because the freshmen were getting they were getting motivated and going, hey, will I be able to do that next year? I'm like, yeah, totally. So they look forward to getting better with it because they know next year they're going to be doing a lot bigger things.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So so it's kind of like the freshmen see it as a gateway to the bigger engines.
Oh yeah.
And there we go. Look at this.
For example, this engine here. So this student, he mentioned this engine to me. Now, let me backtrack a little bit with this guy. I've had him for 3 years. The whole school knows his name, and from admins to every teacher out there and every counselor knows his name. And I said, "Oh man, okay, he's still in my program. What are we gonna do?" And he came in and he said he was a totally different person after that last summer. And he said, "Hey, I've got this engine at home that doesn't run, and I'm gonna rebuild it." And I said, "Okay." And then he showed me the parts. He sent me a message on Instagram. He said, "Hey, I got the parts in. They came in, and I tore my engine apart." I said, "All right, okay, perfect." He said, "Now I need to put it together." I said, "Yeah. So what are you gonna do?" I'm gonna bring it to school tomorrow." I said, "Well, okay. What size engine is this again?" He brought all the small stuff in his backpack and a crate on the school bus.
Oh wow! No way.
Yeah, and so he's trying to get through the doors in the morning, and everybody's like, "What is all this?" "Oh, that's for my auto tech class." Okay, so he came in, and I said, "All right, well, show me what you've got, and I'll lead you, in the right direction in case you get stuck." Well, 2 days later, now this is the guy in the black shirt. That's the owner of the engine, and the guy in the blue shirt, he lives in his neighborhood. And in school, they would never talk to each other, and I didn't even know they were neighbors. And then they started talking about it. They started getting together, and they got more students. They're not even in this picture, but they got more students involved in doing research, looking up specifications and procedures and things like that for this engine. And I had very little hopes of this engine running. And this guy puts it together, takes it home in his backpack and that crate on the bus, and then sends me that video with it running a couple of hours later. I go, what?
Wow. This one.
Yeah. This kid, he enjoys making, all kinds of modifications and moving things around and checking to see what happens if I turn this screw to the left a quarter turn. What happens if I turn it to the right a quarter turn? And so I've always I wasn't aware of his abilities, but now this whole school year I'm like, all right, you guys figure it out. He knows his way around timing and positions and clocking things and stuff like that. So he's got that ability right there where some of us, even as adults, we struggle with, when you give us 9 different gears and we go, okay, we got to put this gearbox together. How does this work?
That's a great story. That's pretty cool. And pretty brave of you as a teacher to take in like a wild project. I call them wild because you never know what's going to happen if it's live. It's someone else's project. You don't know if you get all the parts and stuff. And,
right.
What's good is that, I usually do stuff where I know all the answers, like the Briggs & Stratton. I have all the parts. I got all the stuff, whereas if you take in a project from outside, it's, there's a lot of variables.
Oh, definitely. There's always that. So I was a little bit, I wasn't sure how to answer when he said, hey, can I bring my engine to school? Because, if you reject them, then he'll never have that interest.
Yeah.
But if you tell him, we can get into all kinds of adventures, for lack of better words.
That's cool. Now, so under normal circumstances, what do you have, like an engine for every 2 kids or something like that, or maybe an engine for every 3 kids?
We try to put about 4 to 5 kids per project, per group. So
okay, that makes sense.
And we one thing I've always noticed is diversity. Like you'll have like that student that he'll remember timing marks and he'll know very specific specifications for engines and things like that. Then there's the other kids that are like, hey, if this is not going to work, we're going to use this other tool and get that going. So everybody brings something different to the table. And I try to put them in a way where once they make it to the industry, that's kind of how they're going to work, usually in a shop or in some type of group in a dealership, like the way that Toyota does. And plus it gets them mingling and teamwork is huge for them because they don't talk to each other much.
That's funny.
They'll rather text each other.
Yeah. Does any other shop teachers in here do small engines?
Have for years. Did it at my last school. We did just small engines for and also general car maintenance.
Nice.
So rebuild a small engine, set it up on some form of rack that we could sit in the classroom just to see if it was running, because it wasn't when I brought it in, and so the kids had to win with that, and then the rest was just general maintenance of your vehicle.
That's pretty good. Did you rebuild it more than once, or is it just one time and then you kind of?
It was just the one time, yeah.
Because it's hard. They kind of don't like going back together that much because kids over torque the bolts a lot. Yeah, but if you can get them to be careful with the torque settings, you can actually do this several times on one engine.
Yeah, we had a couple of car engines in the room, but apparently, like before I got there, one of the staff went through and decided to clean up the room and ended up throwing out con rods and all sorts of little parts that were missing, so the motors were useless.
Oh yeah. Interesting. Nick, you do any automotive or small engines?
We used to, but we lost interest, and we've stopped running it. But the local boat tech center still has a pretty good program going on.
Okay. And let's see, Kirk, Kirk does robotics. Kirk, seemingly normal-looking dude. He's got like robots that will like terrorize your nightmares, like They got, but do you get to do any automotive small engine stuff?
Not really. It's just not. I'm the only person at the high school, so there's just only so many things we can do during the year. So that was one of the things that fell to the wayside.
Yeah, it's not easy to do because, like they were saying, like the engine, you know, there's a lot of bits and pieces. You can only have a certain amount of kids work on it at a time, you know, and then also the torque setting. Hey, David, what's your biggest problem with the small engines? Like, what do you come across that you wish you could solve, maybe?
Biggest problem with the engines is, like you said, carburetors.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to carburetors, I'll talk to the kids and I'll say, hey, look, this is not an assembly screw. This is a air fuel mixture screw. So you don't need to remove this to take it apart. And I'll ask here and there. I'll say, hey, how many turns did you back that out? I don't remember. I go, yeah, exactly. So this is what's going to happen in a real world setting, you know.
The carburetor. The carburetor is an issue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's a nice one. You know, I show them the Bernoulli principle. It's funny that the carburetor actually is half of a toilet bowl and half of a spray gun.
Yeah.
You know, if you got a spray gun, you could show them how it sucks the air out of the bowl. And if you got a toilet bowl, I mean, everybody knows that you don't have to bring in a toilet bowl. But everybody knows that's how the float refills the bowl. It's pretty funny.
Right.
You know, but the adjustment, yeah, and then you have the jetting, and you can change the jets, and da-da-da-da. You know, it gets crazy. Interesting. Now, do you do horizontal shaft engines or vertical shaft, or just whatever you can get your hands on?
Mainly horizontal.
Okay.
Because that way we can attach them to, you know, anything out there. But every once in a while, like this past year, we had a pressure washer that was a vertical shaft pump, and the kids, some of them went, how does this work? If you look under it, I said, just tilt it.
Yeah.
Said everything's working the same way, basically.
And everybody knows what question's coming next from me. How do you mount this to the table? Because wait, I should tell you, I'm working on a mounting system that will help shop teachers like yourself. But I'm not, you know, pushing that. I just want to know what you do.
On the vertical shafts, you mean?
Yeah, what would you do to mount the engine on the table, or how do you run it? Like, do you run it? Do you buy the old greenie stand from the catalog?
No, what we did was
or 2 pieces of wood, or what do you do?
Yeah, we had some old pieces of wood laying around there, about 2 feet by 3 feet, and just mounted on there. Now the vertical ones, of course, a hole in the middle. Yeah. And put it up high enough to where we can see the action under it. And because we figured out, hey, we can put a lawnmower up on a stand or something without the blade, but you know, they weren't interested in looking at the bottom of a lawnmower.
Oh, that's funny.
So then they go, hey, I go, can we build this stand? And then they felt more involved because they were also.
Oh, you mean you guys built a stand, and that was kind of the curiosity?
Right. And see,
I never thought about
that's
that.
another thing where I don't teach welding. And whenever they ask me about welding, I go, well, I've baked a cake before. I know how to make a cake, and I've painted my house before, but I'm not a painter and I'm not a baker. So if it's on survival mode, yes, I can bake.
That's a good analogy.
With welding, same thing with welding. Yeah, we have the welding equipment, but no welding class. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We've got it all there, and my students. So sometimes I think every year I've had a student that either comes from a family of welders or has welded before. So I use them so that we can all learn from it, and then the student feels, you know, hey, I'm involved in this because I'm part of the teaching process.
That's so cool. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I do a welding class. I do outside of school as well. I do a crash course. 3 hours. You go from zero to understanding the liquid when you're melting it. You know what's happening. Yeah, mostly stick, and then we do a little MIG. But yeah, if you ever need any welding help, I got your back.
Cool.
Yeah. Or as much as I can do over the phone, and then if I come across the country, I'll stop by.
Nice.
You know. Cool, man. This is pretty cool. So now, what is the relationship to UTI? Because if you take a look here at the map, it's pretty wild. Your school is literally right down the block.
Yeah. So our auto tech program, at one point we did not have a shop. Yeah, hard to believe, but we didn't have a shop. So we had a partnership with Universal Technical Institute, and we used to bus our students down to one of their open bays and not only use their facility, but that would also get the kids basically a tour of their campus. So
the wrong spot. I gotta find it.
Yeah, and they would enjoy that as well, since it was right down the street from us.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It's a huge campus. If you go into the satellite mode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like all of that right there is theirs. Yeah, and then all of those warehouses across the street as well is theirs.
Whoa.
Yeah, all of that in the background, that's theirs.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
except
amazing.
That part.
Yeah, that's amazing. There's a lot going on here.
We go down there once a year for their Top Tech Challenge competition.
Oh, wow.
And our students get to see different schools competing there. That people that drive in from 8-10 hours away from us, and we're literally right there. I mean,
all this.
Yeah.
Wow, no kidding. That is awesome. That's a lot going on. And then you're just up the block.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's just lagging. Here you go.
Right there. And actually, if you zoom out a little bit, so you can see right there towards the bottom of the property, towards the south of the property, you can see construction going on.
Yeah.
So that's our new building. That's the new facility we started using this year.
Oh, that's so cool.
So they don't have the updated aerial view yet, but our shop is part of that new facility, so we're not even on the map yet.
Wow, no kidding. Maybe sometimes the street view is updated.
Right. So let's see.
Oh, look, yeah, construction.
Yeah, you can see the construction going on.
Yeah, no kidding. That's wild. That's great. And so you got a brand new shop.
Right. It's a new shop, and we're actually still using the old shop as well. So we have both shops, the one that we started off with, and our new facility, which helps us out because you'll always have long-term projects and quick stuff that you got to work with in and out and things like that. So we're definitely packed, and it's a popular program.
Here's a video that we found online. Is this the old shop?
No, this is from UTI actually.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that was their facility. This group of students actually, they're pretty successful in the automotive industry right now. So
oh wow,
yeah, they did quite some stuff.
So these are your students articulating over at UTI, because at the time you didn't have the program. Is that right?
Correct. If you notice on the title, it says New Automotive Career Pathway. So it was a completely new program for us, and we weren't sure how it was going to stick. And we're the only school in the district with the program. So every high school in the district has their highlight program. So we were the ones with automotive, and we said, hey, let's see if this is gonna stick here, or if they're gonna move it to a different school or what,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That guy with the hat and the blue shirt, he works on supercars now.
No way.
Yeah. So he's always been he started off at BMW right after high school, and then all of a sudden I wake up one day and I see his Instagram with nothing but Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and
oh my God, no
the guy
way.
was always about high class. So
yeah. What's funny is I got a buddy who those cars will teach you a lot about physics and engineering. I got a buddy who didn't go to college, but he used to put twin turbos on Lamborghinis.
okay,
In like a hot rod shop, and or like a tuner shop or whatever. And then he got into manufacturing, just at first as a welder, and then as a fabricator, and then he started his own company in the what they call the package industry. So it's like, just think of a ketchup packet. Ketchup packet is 2 pieces of film that come down. It seals, then squirt the ketchup. It seals the side, seals the top, and cuts it, and then drops it down into the box. Well, you want to go really fast, so there's machines that do this. And the funny thing is that the guy who never went to school for engineering but studied automotive, he's the one who can make this, who designs a machine that's faster than the other machines. So the company hire him to design and install these machines. So automotive, I think, has the surrounding idea that that's the only way you're going to go once you get into automotive. But really, automotive is just one application of engineering and mechanics.
Right, exactly. And we're out there as shop teachers. I think we're out there in a point in time where it's a turning point right now. Where it's been for a few years. Where when I was in high school, we didn't have shop class. They took it away because they figured, hey, you guys don't need it. It's gonna be, 4-year college for you, and that's where success is at. And so they took it away, and I come from an automotive family in the automotive industry, and I said, man, you guys used to have a shop class? Like, what? That would be awesome. Well, then later on, 10, 15 years later, they figured out, hey, we've got all kinds of 4-year degrees everywhere, and now we don't have anybody to fix our cars. Right. Or people losing real touch where, you learn a lot, whether it's physics, chemistry, math, and just by tinkering with a car or an engine or anything that moves, and you can take your refrigerator apart and you can figure out a lot of stuff,
Yeah. We got a similar story. Like I didn't have shop class growing up. And it's amazing to me because that's all I wanted to do was work on cars. So I used to go to junkyards, and the guy thought I was stealing parts because I didn't buy anything. I didn't have a car to work on. I was just like in there, and I would take a little sketch pad and I would draw the cars and stuff, and so you'll find a way. But it's true, if they had the shop classes, I probably would have got a head start. And the funny thing is, the more I get into cars, the more I get into physics and engineering. So cars are sort of just a pathway, and it's a very attractive pathway because it's speed and style, and you can do performance, you can figure stuff out, comfort, so
right.
It's got a great, and there's like some nostalgia too, the old school cars and whatnot. So yeah, it's funny. So this is across the country. So I graduated in '95, and you're telling me they took away the shop class. What year did you graduate? Sorry to give away your age there.
Oh man.
Okay, shit. Oh man. All right. Give us a ballpark. Was it in the '90s or in the 2000s?
It was 2005.
Oh my God, he's a baby.
I'm still a kid, man.
Yeah.
Now I'm feeling old.
Yeah, no, this is all right. We're old. It's all right. It's a state of mind anyway. But yeah, and it's true because they still haven't replaced a lot of them. luckily they got this new thing they call STEM and STEAM, and they renamed it a little. Now it's they put the engineering class with the mechanics and engineering class.
Right. Oh yeah, and that's the that was the connection, because I don't know on y'all's case, but so for us, administration will ask, okay, how do you connect this to the student, to their future, and how is this going to help them in their core classes? So a lot of our career and technical programs and departments, they were going, what do you mean? How am I supposed to teach culinary arts and somehow connect it to science or math or history? And here I'm thinking, man, this is it. I go, where do you want me to start?
Yeah.
And, I go, first of all, history. There's history there. There's physics. There's math. There's geometry. There's chemistry. And so anything that they wanted us to connect it to, we figured out a way to get it there. We had a group that was struggling with English. So for a second, we sat there and we go, oh man, how do you connect it? And I go, okay, perfect. How do you write out repair orders? If you go to an Audi dealership, you're going to be expecting Audi type of language on a piece of paper. And if you just tell them, hey, we changed your oil, they're probably not going to like those words. So, and so we started throwing all that around, and administration really saw that it wasn't just about, just wrenches and breaking things and loud engines, that there was a connection to everyday life, basically.
Absolutely. I'm going to try and find the guy's name. I can't find it right now, but there's a guy who works at NASA that used to do custom motorcycles. And am I crazy, or is NASA close to you, right?
It's fairly close. It's about an hour and a half away.
I mean, he's in the, anyway, so he
probably in Clear Lake.
Where is it?
Clear Lake, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
It's still the Houston area. And here in Houston, you can drive 2 hours and you're still in Houston. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mission control, is that over here? Let's see, directions. Oh yeah, Clear Lake. Oh yeah. And how do you spell that name again? Let's see. Oh, here it is. I got it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's like under an hour. Yeah, that's wild. So he started out with as a custom motorcycle builder, and I think he was on some of the shows and whatnot. And then he and they switched gears and got into engineering school, and then went to and then got an internship at NASA and stayed. And what they said to him, which he wanted to make sure that he told me about, was that the old guys and girls who work at who work there, they said, you're the ones we want. We want the people that have hands-on skills and the engineer brain to do the work at NASA, because they're the best ones, So he wanted. So we were having this conversation over Instagram one time. He says, I should let you know that the senior people here, the staff at NASA, they love the fact that he was a like an automotive mechanic or motorcycle mechanic first. Because then when he goes to do something, it's not like, oh, what's a wrench, or how do you turn this thing, or So he can do all of it. He can do the calculations plus the hands-on.
Right.
So that makes you very valuable.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah, and we have students like that. I had a student that designed a go-kart frame, and this was about 2 years ago, I would say, when I first had him. And then this year, he gave me the design. He just a sketch, and I found the sketch in one of my files, and I brought it to him a couple of months ago, and I showed it to him. He goes, "What is this?" And I said, "You don't remember?" And he goes, "Whoa, I drew that." And I said, "Yeah." So the guy was he's pretty good with designing stuff with real utility in mind. So I said, okay, here's some square tubing, and y'all play around with cutting it and angles. And he goes, well, I don't know how to weld. And right away, somebody else jumped in the class.
Oh, nice.
I said, okay, I'll show y'all the basics, the safety part of it. I don't care what you do with it. Let's see what y'all can come up with. And sure enough, more students started to gather along, and you know, they were all working in a team. Not only did it help this guy out that he thought I had just taken a sketch and just dumped it in the garbage, but he was bringing it to life. And he's always said, hey, I want to design stuff. And he's very good with a micrometer, and he's very good with the precision stuff. And he's also good with the hands-on. So that's the type of people that, like you said, you know, they make it out there and valuable.
I found it. I found him, Chad the engineer. And you know, you like look at his Instagram. It's like, here's some car stuff.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah. Season opener. He's dropping the transmission. He's taking it out for, I guess it's a racer. He's got, and then he does these funny things. You know, he's into biking or whatever. It was a ridiculous shirt. Yeah, that's great. But the guy's also working at NASA.
Man.
Yeah. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. I guess he's getting some tattoo. Look, he tattooed the freaking Mars rover or whatever. This guy's nuts. Look at this. This is a NASA vehicle that's this is so funny. This is a guy getting tattoos of NASA equipment on his arm. Is that his armpit? Jeez, I don't even know what I'm looking at here.
Bicep.
Oh, look at this. This is is this breaking stereotypes right here? This guy's working at NASA. Yeah, this is like hilarious.
And see, that's the that's the thing where I tell my guys, I go, you know, you can go out there and do whatever you want, you know, and if you see this guy out there that you're showing us, if you see him and you tell somebody this guy works for NASA, they would probably just laugh, you know.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
He's out of his mind. It's great. That's really funny. Yeah, so okay, yeah. So he does native Texan, NASA mechanical engineer, Miata racing. I guess he does coffee as well. It's building coffee, you know. Look at this guy. He's got like 10,000 followers.
Jeez.
Jesus. That's awesome. But yeah, this is what the new thing is that what we thought was, I guess in the 90s they had like a over cautious reaction to people working with their hands, and so they took all the shops away and they're like, no, you have to go to college. Meanwhile, this guy, yeah, he went to college, but after he was a mechanic. So it's kind of like, you know, things have come full circle finally, and you know, the reality is hitting that you need people that know how to do both the hands-on work and the calculations to really
exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, we
what's that, Kirk?
Can't all sit at desks.
Right.
You have doers.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I always say you can't read a book about how to ride a bicycle. You know, you got to actually ride the bicycle.
Right, exactly. We, like I said, just when it comes to precision and things like that, of course, you don't just throw a first timer out there and just do whatever you want with it. But there's got to be a way to get in there. I explained this to an administrator one time. I said, whether you know how to dance or not, there was a point where you had to first stand out there and say, hey, let's give it a shot. And how are they doing it? How am I making mistakes? And how am I going to get better with it? And I try to make it into a way that administration can understand it, because they don't see much past our doors, you know, unless they have to come in and see things. And every once in a while I go, hey, just come inside for 30 seconds real quick and see what they're doing. And they go, man, they did that? I'm like, yeah, there's so much capability out there, you know.
Nice. Did I lose my place? We were talking about a certain category you entered for the go-karts.
So I haven't started racing yet, but I'm getting there.
That's okay. But how do you know like what specs, like, and what category you're in? Is it just the engine, or is it also like the size of the chassis or something like that?
Well, yeah, the size of the chassis also, and the age of the racer, and also their weight. So combined weight between the equipment and the driver, all of that comes into play. So you may have a 16-year-old kid that races with a 45-year-old in the same category, and I'm just throwing numbers out there. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, there's plenty of different rules to it. A lot of research, and I always explain that to all of my students too, because they go, "Wait, why are we watching videos on people doing burnouts and donuts?" And I go, there's a reason, and they enjoy it. They're not complaining. But one of my kids came in, and he's like, "How do you tie this in?" And I said, "Look at the physics of a car and what it's doing, and how do you try to do that with a different vehicle, with a front-wheel drive vehicle? Is it possible to do it with a minivan?" I mean, and they go, "Are we just killing time?" I go, "No." Then I explain to them the difference between screwing around and scientific research is writing it down. So
yeah.
And then we started debate with the kids. They go, "Yo, you can't drift with a front wheel drive car." "Oh, yes, you can. And I've seen this and I've seen that." I said, "Okay, show us." And so then it gets everybody involved. So like I said, with the go-karts, we started doing a bunch of research all over the place, and we would just put it up on the projector and see what we find. So I did find out. So this was towards the end of the school year, right? So we didn't get to do too much with it other than run it, drive it, and play around with it. But it definitely sparked interest in a lot of our students to where they go, "Ooh, can I join that group of kids that's out there playing with the go-kart?" And so I'm thinking for next year, for this coming up school year, we want to put a group of our advanced students and maybe mix in some of our intermediate level students and give them their go-kart and start from scratch, to where they build the engine, they put brakes together and things like that, and test out just different components, so I think it'll be something different for them, and it'll pique their interest as well with small engines, because like I said, as you guys know, where small engines, they think, "Oh, it's a lawnmower," and I don't want to be a lawnmower mechanic.
Oh my God!
There's so much more they can do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I brought in she was 16 at the time, a motorcycle racer, where I talked to her. I met her on Instagram. She was local, and I was seeing, she was racing different styles of motorcycles, and I noticed that she was homeschooled, so I said, "Perfect. Can you come in as a guest speaker?" And she brought in her one of her sponsors, her manager, her parents. She brought in 3 different bikes, and the students were like, "Whoa, what is this? This is cool!" And they were asking, if our female students were also asking, like, "So which one of these guys drives the motorcycle?" And this short little 110-pound girl shows up from behind them.
Yeah.
And goes, "That's mine." So they were like, "Whoa, I can do this, and I can learn this," and so that helped them out as well, because they go, "How do you tie this in?" And I said, "Well, that's a small engine.
Yeah,
I can't give you an ASE certification, and then you're not going to know what to do with this street bike or this dirt bike." And so I said, that's where small engines come into play. Mm-hmm. So that was also another part of, hey, is this something I can do?
Yeah. Plus, small engine, I mean, they do everything. I mean, it's a generator, it's power pressure washers, water pump, emergency equipment. How many? If you know any tree arborists, I got friends that make a lot of money trimming the trees. I mean, crazy money.
Oh, huge, yeah.
like enough money that they could buy a truck with a crane on it. Like they start by climbing the tree with their friends, and they got a rope and this and that, and then do that for a decade. And after a decade, they got enough money to buy a crane truck.
Yeah.
You know, and they buy a bigger crane truck, and that, you know, that's all small engines, just you know, the chainsaw and whatnot. Pretty cool, man. I found a little video here, just showing a little. I see how to start racing LO206. And we don't have to watch the whole thing, but I'm just giving you a little. So I wonder if you can design. Are you going to design and build your own chassis, or are you going to buy a chassis, or you don't know yet?
So we want to build that design that my student had made. We want to build that first.
Oh yeah.
We're one of our normal Briggs and Stratton engines, and we have a lot of parts there that we can throw into that. And I think I've seen this video before. This guy's very helpful too.
Oh, nice.
So we want to build that first, and actually have them see their project come to fruition. You know, and I mean, they once they see whatever they planned out or designed, once they see it that it's a tangible item that they can play with or show off, they start getting more interest in you know, getting deeper with it and more advanced. And it also helps that, you know, we have our shop parking lot that they can show off their toys with, and the rest of the school gets to see it, and it doesn't take 2 minutes before somebody will start texting them and saying, "Hey, what are you guys playing with? What are y'all doing out there? Whose car is that? Or what's going on in the shop?" So we want them to show off their projects and their skills first, and then we can jump into, hey, let's buy a chassis that's that meets all the specs and things like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, come on, how exciting is this? I mean, this is
your school has that really nice track around that big square field, a rectangular field. That's
right
for racing.
Yeah,
they wouldn't mind at all.
That would be good. This is wild. I mean, look at this. Like, come on, this is exciting stuff. That is awesome.
Oh yeah, and we also show, you know, like the week right before school ended, I was showing karting accidents to where it makes it more real, because I always show them, hey, you know, just like our safety courses and training, I show them, hey, there's a potential for another cart to roll up behind you and run over you, or throw you off the track, and you flip around, and the only protection is that helmet and your gloves, and you know, there's real dangers. And some of them they get a little bit more they take a step back and they go, okay, this is serious, and some of them go, all right, we can break some bones, let's do this, you know. So it goes either way with them.
Yeah, that's funny. This is awesome, man. This is great stuff you're doing. You got to keep us in the loop, you know, let us know what's going on.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And we keep planning, like throughout the next couple of days, and then in about 2 more weeks, we're planning for this next school year as to what else we're gonna do to keep the students interested, and not only that, but to attract the middle school students to when they're planning out their pathways and their classes for high school, they go, hey, I want to be in there, you know.
Oh, you know, Duke's the man on that. He teaches the middle school. He just left the room for a minute, but I guess he'll come back. And then, Duke, what do you think? How do you keep the middle school kids engaged and get them ready for David's high school class? What do you suggest?
Same thing, using their hands. Get them excited about using their hands.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I got them in 6th grade. You know, there's a little we do the Pinewood Derby cars still.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's still like a lot of design aspects involved in that. So I tell them, first 11 days you're using your brain, and then the second 11 days you're using your muscles. You know, these kids, they haven't used hand tools before, so they're sweating more in shop class than they are in gym class. You know, but you know, they appreciate it when they're done with it, and they have a nice product, you can tell they're proud of their craftsmanship, most of them, So they want to go on to the next grade, 7th grade. They can't. The kid when they, they like your class when they run to class. You can't fault them for running in the hallways. When they run into your class, it's pretty cool.
So one thing I did, when was it? About 2-3 years ago, maybe. I play around with nitro RC cars, nitro remote control cars, and one time they had been sitting for a while, and I said I don't have time to get them running, and you have to clean out carburetors and things like that, and it's just like a full-size vehicle. Clean out the fuel tank and batteries and things like that. So I said, let me take both of my cars up to the school and play around with them and have the students do some of the work. So it caught their eye big time because, number one, a lot of these students they didn't know this type of stuff existed. They go, this is a real engine? I go, yeah, it's a 2-stroke engine. And it's got an exhaust, it's got a carburetor, a fuel system, and it's got a computer, some type of controller and suspension and all that. Well, the next semester after that, we were able to purchase through the school 6 remote control cars, and they're all nitro methane. None of them are electric, even though it was easier for us to drive them. I said, no, we want to, break them and fix them and drive them again, and so that's what we do on our off time, or if we're done with our lesson or something, we go out into the parking lot and race them. And I noticed that the kids, some of them would say, hey, I've got one of those at home. Okay, perfect. You want to bring it up to the school? Yeah. I want to, mine's faster than yours. Okay, we'll see on Friday, and so that caught them big time because, number one, you can hear it screaming down the parking lot, and kids are looking out the window from different classrooms, and again, they're asking, hey, what is that? What are you guys doing there? What was that stuff y'all were playing around with? Is that a real engine? So we threw that in for all of our classes, not just small engines, but everyone out there.
That's awesome. I've got some, well, I guess they're smaller engines, but I've got little engines like that, the ones that fit in your hand.
Yeah.
I got a friend who's into the airplanes, and man, does he have a collection. He's got like over 100 of those in his basement.
Oh man.
And
yeah, that's a whole different animal when you start doing 3-dimensional.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And
I tell people I can only go left and right, forward and back, but once you start going up and down, yeah.
But they're cool because what's that, Kirk? Sorry.
A lot of stuff to hit up there.
Yeah.
You don't want to be hitting the telephone poles and light posts, and what goes up must come down.
Definitely.
So that's great that you do the nitro cars. So is it those are like 2 strokes, right? I think.
Yep.
That's awesome. So you got to mix a little bit of oil with and it's interesting because it's different than a 4-stroke because there's no valves. I mean, there's valves, but it's like a side valve, or a reed or something like that. It's when the piston slides down, it's a pathway.
Exactly, and they get to understand a lot of different branches of a car, a lot of different sections of, so we play around with suspension adjustments, our brakes, things like that, and we'll have different cars and showing off, how does 4-wheel drive work, how does reverse work. Some of our cars are have a 2-speed transmission similar to a Honda transmission. So we'll take those apart.
How do you switch the 2-speed? Does it switch automatically, or do you got to click on the controller?
It's got a centrifugal clutch inside that'll grab on.
That's interesting.
So yeah,
it's basically like a robot, but with a organic fuel.
Right.
Yeah, it's an organic fuel robot. Or internal combustion engine robot,
Right.
Which is kind of interesting.
Like I said, they see it and they think it's a toy, and they go, wait, how fast can these things go? And I go, they can move, and they can also shatter to pieces. So,
I started out with the I forget what we call it, but the Fox. When I was a kid, what's it called? The Fox. What's the popular brand with a T?
Traxxas.
Tamiya.
Oh, Tamiya. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Tamiya Fox, was it? I can't remember. Let me see. But that was the beginning. Does anybody else here do remote control cars with their kids, with like gas remote control cars? Let's see. Tamiya, that's it. That's not easy to do what you're doing there because you got to have the parts. But that's great. Wait, how did you order them for the school? Is there a catalog you went to?
Well, that was a whole nother adventure there.
Yeah.
Oh,
this
yeah. See those?
This is it right here. This is like my childhood. What?
Yeah.
That's old time there.
Yeah, I'm old. Yeah. Yeah. David's like, guys, I'm not that old. This is before. He's I saw that in the garbage pail.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was a whole other adventure there because I wrote a proposal to the district, and they said, well, of course, you got to show why you're trying to buy a bunch of toys. And to them, they go, wait, are these toys? Are these full size? Some of them wouldn't understand the concept. And I explained to them how, there's less of a risk for the students to get hurt. And this is for entry level. If you don't want to put a kid out there playing with full size brakes, you can show how brakes work on this, and you can take this to any classroom. And so we won our grant. Now they said, okay, great. How do you buy this? Because you've got to have an approved vendor through the district, and I don't think we have an approved vendor for this. So I ended up finding a store, a supplier, where the guy that owns the store, he majored in legal paperwork, and I don't know what else he did, where he goes, I will help make that connection to the kids. And I was like, dude, you can do that? He goes, it's all about language. And I said, yeah, it really is, so he helped out with the paperwork as to how to be able to present it to the district and say, hey, we need a couple $1,000s for this. And it worked out awesome because they even called us down to a meeting and said, hey, bring one of your cars. And this was pre-COVID, of course. And they said, you're gonna come down to one of our district offices. You're gonna bring the cars, or bring a student, and show us what they've learned with this car. I'm like, okay. So that was pretty good.
That's awesome. Now what? That's so cool. By the way, they re-released. Tamiya now sells this one because it was such a old school, popular. You can actually buy brand new, old school Tamiya Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The nostalgia.
Yeah. Which look at Kirk. He's gonna either drool or cry. I can't tell what's gonna happen here. He's thinking about it. He's gonna buy one. You gonna buy one, Kirk?
No, I don't think so.
Ah, shit.
They weren't really good way back when either. They were just.
Don't ruin my memories. Nah, these things were terrible. This is entry level garbage. This is not.
That's like bringing a RC car back that you used to drive when you were a kid to your kids. So they're saying, "Hey, you know this one, Dad. You can buy this."
That's what we do. That's what we do in TSA. There's a high school event. It's all the old shop teachers' RC cars.
Oh, no way. That's funny. Now, the RC car thing is I think underrated. David, I think you made the right move. I'll give you an example of it working out really good. There was a kid who wanted to work on aviation, but I don't have like an aviation program. And so I was like, here's what we're going to do. You got to know what ailerons are and the rudder, and you got to know all this stuff. So I'm going to get you a kit. So with my own money, because I can't like I said, you need a lawyer to make this happen. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I was like, forget it. So with my own money, I went and bought what's called. It's going to sound funny. It's a German name from World War II. It's called the Fokker and Decker. I know that sounds funny. I'm not. Usually I'm making jokes, but this one actually called the Fokker and Decker, and FOKK. Anyway, so it's basically a really simple airplane, and advanced at the time. I don't know, 1914 or whatever. Who knows? But what's cool is that kid got about halfway through the build, and because he started to understand it better, he went to an aviation museum in Teterboro, New Jersey, and then he got so into it that he decided he's going to join the Navy, but the air division of the Navy as a Marine. Which forgive me if I'm saying these things wrong. I don't understand the different departments and whatnot, but basically he's a Marine in the Navy, but in their air, like for the aircraft carrier, but specifically working on the F-35. So he gets in touch with me. I don't know if you know, F-35 is like one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world. And it does vertical takeoff and stuff. And he calls me and he wanted to thank me for getting him into aviation and lighting that fire and getting the kid excited. So that was an RC car.
Man, that's it.
RC car. So you get them excited. You light the fire. You know, it's not the size. You know, it's like it's just can they do this thing? Does it work? Can they make it? Can they actually drive it? It all works. You know.
There's so many things.
You just never know what'll spark you.
RC.
Go ahead, Kirk. What did you say? Sorry.
There's so many things you can do with the RC. Like there used to be a competition in TSA, RC transportation, and in that particular event, they basically had to take an RC car or components of an RC vehicle and make it do something, a task oriented. Like it would pick something up or it'd move something from point A to point B. And that's where my kids got into it because I don't know, when I'm in high school, so basically once kids get their license, they have no interest in any of the RC car stuff they used to have. So right. you mentioned, hey, there's this competition for TSA you can do, and they bring in them boxes of stuff because they just want to get rid of it. It's like, I'm not going to drive this again. I have my own car. Yeah. So, I still have boxes at school of old RC car stuff that kids, brought in, and you can Frankenstein some really cool, like again, task-oriented robots, etc. And the kids that used to do that, or they led right into our robotics program. That was that transition because once the kids built that, they were able to drive. They were able to figure out the radio control and the servos, etc. That was a natural lead in to doing combat robots, and that's how we got started doing it.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
We still play with the RC stuff. That's never goes away because like a drone is all it is an RC car that flies. Same exact parts, speed controls, everything else is the same.
That's right.
Yeah. David, which type of car did you buy?
It was all Traxxas.
Oh yeah.
So we have two of each. I wanted to make it easy, user friendly, and also something like just
this.
TRAXXAS.
TRA
XXIS.
Oh, okay.
That's another reason Ron became a shop teacher. He can't spell.
This is the truth.
That's the reason we all became shop teachers.
It's funny. I'm so funny. I still use chalk on the board, not lately because there's like no kids in the school now. But I'll be spelling something and I'll be like, "How do you spell it?" They're like, "You don't know how to spell." I'm like, "This is not English class. I'm a shop teacher. You got to go to another class."
You guys have spell check.
Yeah.
Chalkboard doesn't have spell check.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. So which one did you get?
So we got two Nitro Slash two-wheel drives. So you see them up on the top to the right. on your screen. So we got two of those. We got two Traxxas T-Maxes.
Oh, here.
And then we got one Jado and one Revo. So we got a little bit of everything, because I know we've got the guys that can really drive the pro stuff. We've got the kids that just want to mash and bash all kinds of stuff, and that's where the T-Max comes into play.
Yeah.
Because that thing can go anywhere and it can take a beating. So and the kid said, well, how fast do these go? I go, well, let me show you this one. And we've got one that I think does about 72 miles per hour.
Whoa.
So that really grabs their attention big time. The Jado goes pretty fast.
Where's the Jado?
Oh, that one doesn't do 72 miles per hour. But that's let me show you. Go towards the bottom. If you exit out of that last picture you had, I think it popped up. Right on top of that.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
I think that one does about 50 something, but man, yeah, that's that shows a lot of precision, and it sharpens a lot of the kids' skills when it comes to hand-eye coordination. Even some adults, we've seen people that
Look at
drive
this
them,
engine.
coming back to you. Yeah, and that's the smaller engine.
Gee. Oh, yeah. What size engine are the
There's a 3.3, which is a little bit bigger.
Oh, wow. Look at
a little bit bigger than that one. And
you could probably, what's cool is nowadays you could like 3D print some parts as replacements.
Oh, definitely.
Or you could cut parts. Maybe get them like laser. If you got a laser cutter, you could laser cut your parts. You could make your own stuff.
Yeah, one big thing that they like to mess with is suspension. So you can do all kinds of suspension modifications to these, and they're able to see, hey, what happens if I put a spacer here? What happens if I put a softer spring on there? We had one that we wrecked it coming off a ramp, and it hit the curb, and one of the shocks just exploded in chunks and pieces.
Uh-huh.
And I go, well, let's find all the pieces and try to rebuild it. And it's just like a full-size shock. It's just like a car. When it's got a leaking shock, it doesn't have the same qualities that it used to when it was brand new. And sure enough, it couldn't hold itself anymore. It was just worn out.
Wow.
So they're able to see all that.
I rebuilt the Fox so many times because I jumped it off stuff and broke the chassis in half. And I remember thinking to myself, I cracked the chassis, and I thought to myself, oh my God, this is ruined. But if I could get another chassis, all I got to do is disassemble this entire vehicle and put it on a new chassis. And I remember that being a daunting task, but I saw it through. And when you get back out there and get that thing running, it's like you don't forget that. Like I still remember that, It's like amazing.
Oh yeah. And sometimes we have projects where they'll take forever to do something, and I just lay back and let them make mistakes again, and they get frustrated. They take a breather. They come back from lunch and they play around with it. They come back after school, and I go up to them and I just make a quick adjustment, and they go, why didn't you tell me this earlier? I said, because then you'll never remember it. You'll never learn out of it,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Said, I'm not here to make your life easy. I'm here to teach you something.
Yeah, you can't. It's no soft stuff. You got to get it. They got to earn it.
Right.
Look at this craziness. Let's see. Ooh.
This would definitely be a good outlet for a 3D printer.
Yeah.
A lot of parts.
Yeah, totally. 3D print the parts, change up. You could make your own suspension arms or whatever.
Oh, and then, people make all kinds of custom parts.
Then if you got your own laser cutter, you could cut out two-dimensional stuff like cross bulkhead members or something, shock purchases or shock towers. Jesus. Whoa, look at this guy. That guy's drifting like crazy.
Yeah. We one year we made this truck, this big old heavy duty, just off-road monster. we made it faster than one of the sports cars that we also had. Because we
Whoa.
were fine tuning the carburetor.
Oh.
Although I'm pretty sure we did some permanent damage to that engine because we leaned the hell out of it.
Oh, yeah.
But I showed them, I
Whoa.
said, just because it's a big old heavy pig doesn't mean it's not going to go fast.
Yeah.
And we
Look at
did
this.
use, we used about 400 feet, I think it was, because it was like a football field and a half.
I'm sorry. I got to make noises.
Just like that. Yeah. Now I'm not a good driver like the people on this video, whoever's controlling that one right there. But
Yeah, that was pretty good. Oh, they got light kits for it.
oh yeah.
Another rabbit hole to fall down.
Yeah, this is a lot. This is a lot to get into. Jeez,
Look
we're-
at this running around.
Look at Duke.
oh,
Look at that. There you go.
dude, check out Duke.
Man,
Duke, tell us about it.
that's massive.
Wait, put it on this. You know what happens when we're recording? It only shows who's talking. So you got to tell us about it. Is that Gravedigger?
Yeah, Gravedigger. It's my kids. He's got all these remote controls, but these aren't like real ones. These are just like ones you get at Target, for $100.
Dude, show us around that thing.
What do we got?
That's got a lot of detail on that. Look at that.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, you got to point out the parts because if you're not talking, the camera won't go to you.
Has the big wheels. A nice thing about it is we got a USB charger, so it charges with the USB. I'm going to waste my money on batteries.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
But there's only like 8 wires on here. Two for the front wheels, 2 for the back wheels. And then 1 to power on the lights. But
Wow.
the control's pretty small. It goes pretty good, for a 5-year-old. It goes in the grass and everything else, but eventually I want to go for the big one, get him a big one.
But I can assure you, I think at any age, if you know how to control the remote, the controller, and you start learning precision and how to turn, and things are backwards when it's coming towards you. Now you're turning left and the car's turning right. So that helps out a lot of our students too, with that struggle with either with direction or when you tell them, hey, we're going northbound, they go, what is northbound? So I tell them, hey, once you get out there in the real world, there's plenty of people that don't know the difference between east and west, but you're gonna need it.
That's the same as the RC car, same as the drone. Once you turn that drone around,
oh yeah,
everything's opposite.
Oh yeah.
Well, you said that once you get the hand-eye coordination with the remote control, you use it enough, you get pretty good at it. You can do a lot of things, whether it's RC car, drones, video games, whatever.
Yeah, totally. This is awesome. Cool, man. Well, so we'll kind of wrap up the recording here, and then usually what we do is just hang out for a bit. Also, David, do we have your? We got to make sure we got your email going. So we can get you on the email list, send you out a newsletter. Every week we send out a little newsletter that explains, who's the next guest and what's going on and stuff like that.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and put it up on the chat.
Oh yeah, perfect. Okay. This was cool. What a cool thing.
So my email, the district only allows 7 characters, so it cut off the last letter of my last name.
Oh, nice.
So people think my last name is Almanzan. Oh man, I hit enter. I try to put my name and my email there. So
okay.
And I tell people, I've heard many versions of my last name, so none of them offend me. And
Really?
I've been married twice, so I'm pretty sure I've been called worse things.
That's good. Okay, so please add to the. Anyway, so all right, so I'm going to end the recording here, but we can hang out for a bit. But I really appreciate you joining, and I want to hear what happens with this go-kart. We got to keep the racing series.
Yeah, thank you for having me, first of all. And I always like to either network or to bounce ideas off of other people in similar fields, because it's not like we go to meetings with the district and they say, all right, all of the math departments get together, and all of science, or so for example, we're the only auto tech program in the district, and they go, all right, well, you guys go and talk car stuff. And I go, so who else do we plan out with, or when we have an issue, or how do you bounce stuff off of others? So it's rare, unless you go out of your way to find somebody and say, hey, I'm in the same boat, so this is pretty good.
Yeah, I started doing this thing with this guy named Barbacek. God, it's maybe 4 years ago now, and then when COVID hit, instead of doing it like once a month, we just started doing it every week, and it just sort of evolved. And we got a lot of regulars. The guys you see on the show are pretty much regulars. There's 2 or 3 more people that come in as well, and it's really nice because every week we kind of talk about new ideas. Like, I hear new ideas all the time. Last week we were talking about welder. Next week, actually, hold on, let me check the schedule. I'll tell you what's going on next week before we end the recording. Let's see.
David, do you have a good relationship with UTI?
Sort of. I mean, they know who I am. We don't go up there often now, like we used to. But yeah, definitely. At least once or twice a year now, we go up there and make sure we visit the facility and stay fresh with them.
Yeah.
What do they specialize in where you're at?
Excuse me?
What do they specialize in?
They've got the collision program. They've also got their high performance branch, diesel, and just general automotive.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've got a few kids going there this year. And I know it's a tough one for everyone. But I've got a couple of them that said, "Hey, I reached out to our rep at UTI, and I'm gonna start there next year." And I go, "Man, I wasn't expecting, this year to be, a year with enthusiasm for the students. A lot of things could have been different, we in many ways, but yeah, I'm glad they're still, gripping on to their plans."
Yeah, what did you do during COVID, man?
Oh, that was that was a whole nother adventure. So we come in, and it's the first 6 weeks of school. It's all virtual. So like you said, hey, how do you teach somebody to ride a bike on a video or on a virtual online textbook, or and I saw other programs that were doing like take home toolkits and do stuff, but then the liability issues and are the tools coming back? What's going to happen with that? And so I said, let's take this time to hit the books, because students in our programs, they're not huge on the books. They want to go out there and just either cut stuff or build stuff or just do something away from the desk. So I said, this is going to be where we have to make it interactive. And for example, our seniors, some of them have cars. We would have them present to the class or to us as assignments. Hey, what are you going to do to your car this week, or what are your plans? And their other classes, they had to sit there in front of the computer and do stuff online. And then for our class, they go, man, I get to go outside and play with my car. I'm like, yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. So they didn't even have to interact with us. They could just be there working on the car or doing something, even if it was just cleaning it out, at first. And so we did a lot of the online curriculum, which of course we know how that went, and that was a challenge. But we did a lot of our manufacturer specific training as well, where we said, hey, once you come back in person, you're already going to be ahead that much with your Ford training or whatever they were working on.
Well, what kind of training was that?
Through Ford Motor Company, you have some of your online training that it's similar to what their technicians do. So it kind of gives them a foot in the door as to kind of guides them to, hey, if you go and apply at Ford, you've already got some of your training down. So that's already some of your time invested, and it gets you more a better relationship with Ford.
That's cool. That's cool. Interesting. Yeah, I was remote for like the whole year, so we did CAD. We just did, except we use Onshape, which is like website based. But now that we're back, I had the kids welding and stuff. But geez, we only have 10% of the kids back. We're still pretty much remote.
Yeah. I think we had about maybe on a good day a third of our students back.
Oh wow! No kidding.
So that was a whole nother challenge too.
Yeah.
and that was something else that so we would have. I had a toolbox out in the shop, and I set it up as my desk, and I also connected a GoPro with a light attached to it, and I got some really long wires to my to the GoPro, and if we were working in the shop somewhere, I would put the GoPro with the light over the hood or under the car or whatever we were doing. So the kids that were in person, they were doing hands-on stuff, and I would try to keep them away from the online work. And then the kids that were at home, they would go, well, hey, I want to do that. I want to come in and get away from this computer screen, for a bit.
David, that's genius. What I started doing is I've got hybrids. So I've got, let's say there's 20 kids in the room, in the class. There's 18 kids online and 2 kids welding. So what I did was I'm standing with almost like this. I got a meeting going on. It's Google. Then the welding kids, I would take a Chromebook and do a second login, which is almost like a GoPro.
Right.
And I would put that next to the welder. So now I can see, obviously I could hear him welding and I could see, but now I've got a camera on the kid welding and I got the kids in the class. And then that sort of sparks some interest. But what would be great is if I could put something in the helmet, and it's
right.
like you're on your forehead or something like that. So I told this idea to this Microsoft dude who's like kind of helping me out just as an educator. It was, I don't remember how I found the guy. Anyway, so he made an appointment. Oh, it was through the Shell Eco Marathon. And so he said that there's a goggles that have a lens that they project images onto the goggles, so you could see through it. Plus, you could add something. So that means, like a welding technician could watch and help a young welder coming up, or vice versa, type of thing.
Oh man! Wow.
Yeah. So I think there's some merit to some of the hybrid and remote stuff that we've been doing, and the fact that you got a GoPro going. I've been GoPro stock, like, I don't know if you know, are you into stocks, but GoPro stock tanked. It got killed. If you bought stock in the beginning, you're down like a ridiculous amount. But it's been creeping back up, and I think that they'll do really well if they started making remote webcams.
Right. Something that's got more of a connection to this new modern lifestyle,
Yes. Not just, I went skiing and I put the thing on my head, or I went skateboarding. Okay, great. Everybody can go do that. Now, can we just get serious about work? let's like what about all the teachers out there? Everyone would buy a GoPro if it was remote to the camera,
Oh my God, yeah, that would be huge.
That was my first document cam, like GoPro. But I must have spent a day figuring out how to use the GoPro as a document cam. It took me a full day to find out what wires I needed to make it compatible as my second camera, but I got it done. I found whatever the wire is, but the battery life only lasts like a class period long.
Yeah.
So you're charging like a battery while you have one in the camera. So then as soon as class is over, you got to change batteries. It never lasts the whole day. But then I bought like a webcam. There's one wire plugs right into your adapter and it lasts all day.
Right.
So, like you said, GoPro missed the boat somewhere.
Dear GoPro, I'll send this to them. Dear GoPro, please make a webcam. What are you guys doing? You got the tech. You have the tech.
Oh yeah.
Hook it up through Wi-Fi. We're teachers. We don't have time for this nonsense. Yeah. You figure it out. We'll buy it from you.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. That's what I did for these kids. I flew a drone. I was like, well, how can I get a good camera angle with the drone? I was ready to put the GoPro on my head, but then I needed like a 30-foot wire to go from my computer, to the wire. Yeah, like you said, make it wireless. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and you were tethered to it.
I'm picturing Duke walking around with the GoPro on his head with a wire, and then he goes, oh!
Yeah, a wire in one hand, my remote in the other, my laptop.
And then he's like walking down the street, and, the wire's not long enough.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That is too funny. So how long was that wire, David?
On mine, I want to say it was 25 feet that I had, and it sounds like a lot, but once you're trying to go around a car and trying to make sure that nobody's going to trip over it, and you also have to have a charger.
Did you say 25 feet?
Yep. Yeah. So, and I set this up every single day from the moment we started school till the last day of school, and they could see different angles. And every once in a while, I would use it for my meetings. And of course, with the GoPro, you get the wide lens, and so sometimes for my meetings, our staff would go, "Hey, what kind of stuff are you using in the shop? What kind of nice high-end camera are you using for the documentation?" And I said, "It's a GoPro." And everybody, "What? You can use a GoPro on your laptop?" And I said, "Yeah, if we did a little bit of research, you can figure it out and how to do stuff in your own classrooms."
See that's why these meetings, the Shop Class podcast, these are $1 million meetings. Imagine if an executive from GoPro was listening to this. This is it's pretty obvious this is a market. Now how do you do it? How do you hook it up so you can use it as a doc cam?
So I've got two. My older one, that one doesn't act as a what's the right term for it? It doesn't have its own video card. I think that's the right term. And if somebody else knows the better words for it, they can help me out with that. This is a GoPro Hero4. So I basically had to purchase an interface, a USB interface that could turn it into a video signal as a webcam. Now, the newer one, that one goes directly plugged into USB, and it starts working like crazy, like nothing. And I said, well, I don't know if let's try it out. I don't know how much we're going to be using this. And turns out I used the hell out of it. We would put it in different angles. We had the light behind it, so it was always well lit, and it was a wide angle, so you could see most of what we were doing. Even if there was nothing in specific we were working on, you could see the whole shop. And I was always with my wireless earpiece that I was always around with. Yeah, there you go, something like that. I use something similar to it.
Okay, wait, Duke, you gotta just tell us what you're doing here.
This is it. This is the whatever the converter was for the GoPro.
Right.
So there's like the USB end here. That goes into like your USB, and then right here, this one goes into the GoPro.
Wow. What item is that?
It's called a HDMI video capture.
Oh, okay.
That took me a day of research to find that. I even called the iTech guy. So there's like a HDMI that goes into here. This is all you need right here. This is the converter.
See, I use what's called a it's from a brand name Elgato Camlink 4K something. Yeah, it's Camlink. And it basically does exactly the same thing as Duke's interface.
That it?
Yeah, that's it right there.
Nice. There we go.
Yeah, just like that. And it worked out great. I mean, that was because I saw other people that were having issues with trying to use their GoPro and stuff like that.
Which
I said,
one
"Hey,
do
let's
you
give it a
have,
shot."
David?
What's that?
Which one do you have?
Mine is called Elgato Camlink.
Now for the Hero 4, what's that cost? Like $20, $28 or something?
Well, for the Hero
Amazon?
4, only that one was working. Yeah, yeah, that one. There you go. That one right there. Only that one worked for mine because
Yeah.
apparently from Hero 6 and up or something like that is a different setup.
Nice.
Yeah, that costs $100, but then on Amazon you can get all the other features for like your floatable devices, your wearable devices, your headband, all that stuff. That's just
Yeah,
you can get all that for $5. The whole package with the stuff for
a whole bunch of
$5.
clips and yeah.
Oh wait, and David, you also had a wireless headphone and microphone, so you don't have to worry about the camera sound. You just worry about
right because I'm in the shop, so I have a some wireless earbuds that they had to be comfortable for me to wear all day, and not only that, but I had to also use because I'm in the shop and I couldn't have my ears plugged up. So I have the they don't work with inside your ear. They go through your bone. I can't remember the brand of them, but they basically shoot the sound through your ear bones or something. I was skeptical until I used them. They were awesome. It's like hearing voices in your head all day. You would forget you were wearing it.
I hear voices in my head, so you know.
So that was perfect because I could talk to my kids and I could hear them on here, and I could be working in the shop.
That's cool. So you got the camera's got you, but then you don't have to worry about talking to the camera or the computer or the microphone. You just walk around.
Right. It starts with a V something. I can't remember the name of the brand, but I mean it was. Man, I can't remember what brand they were.
All right.
I think they're termed as a bone resonance earphone or something like that.
Right. Let me see.
Bone conduction.
Oh yeah, here it is.
Let me see.
I didn't think
something similar to those.
I didn't think we'd be talking about bone resonance on our
Right.
podcast.
Yeah, I can't remember what brand mine are, but
Ooh.
but they were also sweat proof and they're for like working out and things like that. Yeah, so that was perfect because in the shop you never know what you're going to be doing, whether you're going to be outside or.
That's awesome! Wow.
Yeah. So and they were always hidden. You really couldn't see them, but I could hear everyone perfectly. So
I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, my dad showed me this. Oh, aftershocks. That's what mine are. Aftershocks. Not the Aeropex. The Titan. I don't know. Aftershock something.
Okay.
But those things they worked out great.
Wow, no kidding. So how does that hook in? You got to go hook in back to the computer. So now your computer sees the GoPro as the camera and then this as the microphone and the sound.
That's right.
And so you're walking around, you look like a crazy person talking to yourself.
Oh yeah, plenty. Yeah. Or I would tell my kids, I go, hey, hang on, somebody's talking to me. And at first they go, what? I go, hang on, I'll be right back. And I'll run to the computer to go, how did you know they were asking something? And I'm like, and I would move my hair. I'm like, dude, you can't see them, but it's right there.
Oh,
And it works kind of like a hearing aid.
wow, no kidding. This is awesome. What's good? This is good information.
Yeah, they were awesome.
And did you ever have trouble, like, okay, so you got that GoPro overview wide angle shot, but wouldn't it be great if you had it was like right on you, so you could just go like that, and like they see where your hands are?
Right. Every once in a while, we would do it like that. We would set it up on a tripod stand, and because mine's always set up like that on a tripod, but every once in a while we'd have the arm that swings over a work table or something like that, and you could see, if we were building an engine or something like that, you could see all of that. Or if we're making some suspension adjustments on the alignment machine, we would get it up close and personal, to where it would show the students working on it too. So
wow. I want to see Duke wearing a GoPro on his head, like, and just tune into his classroom one day.
That was my idea.
Dude, put that thing on again. I think it's funny.
That was my idea, but GoPro didn't come up with the technology yet.
I know. You need like a 50-foot cable. It's like crazy, man.
But I was like, I started looking. I'm like, there got to be a simple solution. GoPro had to figure something out. And then,
yeah, I was looking for a wireless webcam, and it was too expensive. And of the ones that are exactly that, there would be a delay. They said, everyone said it's not worth it. I'm like, well, what's going on here? How come my phone works fine, like, you know what I mean, as a second login? Like, so what I did was I actually started, when I was home, I would take this, see, and I would put the phone here, and you'd see me, but then you'd also see what I was working on. So I could do engine drawings, or I could work on something.
you got this one for your chest.
Yeah.
This is so funny looking. Oh my god! Look at Duke. He looks like a cop from the '80s. Like at the
one of my staff tried one of those on the when he was using the lathe.
Oh my god! What did you say, Damien?
Oh, one of my staff used one of those when he was working on the metal lathes.
The lathe. That's a good idea.
That, and when he was welding and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
really hard to get it set up in the exact spot where you're seeing what you want them to see.
Yeah, he's going mining.
Duke is ready, dude. Dude, you have no idea. David, Duke, like, he'll whip out the drone. He'll start flying the drone through his kitchen, like at night, That's really funny, man. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I got all these little accessories as well. You might as well get them. They're so cheap.
That's it. They're so cheap.
All right, GoPro, what are you guys doing? Come on. Look, I'll show you what happened with the stock of GoPro. Maybe this will stir up a little bit.
And the same thing. You walk around Target, right next to the kids section, there's electronics section. GoPro's still like right in front, advertising their cameras.
Yep. And they're just not understanding the market they're missing. So
the business portion of the podcast.
Yeah, this is the financial portion, right? So they started out at IPO, and then they went, way up, all the way up to like almost 80 something dollars, and then flat for years. Anybody who bought at this high, can you imagine how mad you'd be? You're down 94%. And then
Oh man.
yeah, it's bad. And then recently, if you look at the 5-year, look at this is the pandemic. No, this is the pandemic. Wait, where's the pandemic? In 19 or
20.
January of 20.
all right,
there.
February.
boom. And if you grabbed it here, you'd be up 388%. So they are on the rise because they're doing this new membership program on their website. So what they do is you buy a camera on the website, on their website, not someone else's, and not at Target or whatever. And you buy it there. And then you get, if you do the membership, you get 2 free returns in case the camera breaks. No questions asked, like a great warranty. And then you get some like crazy discounts on accessories. What they're trying to do is draw traffic to their website. But I'm like, hey, and they got free unlimited storage of the photos or whatever and video. But I'm like, hey, guys, look at I'm like yelling at their stock earnings there. I'm like, look at the teachers. You're missing a market, you know?
Oh yeah, huge.
Nick Woodman, this guy. This is the man. This is the man not understanding the teachers right now. Anyway, I mean, I don't know. What do I know? But yeah, they're missing a market, I think. So anyway, someone will do it one day and it'll make it so much easier. Oh my God. Well, all right, so cool. So let's kill the recording there. That was we covered everything. And this has been awesome. All right, let me see. Thanks for tuning into the Shop Class Podcast every Wednesday night. See you.